What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Attack on Cowboys. And today, we are finally here at the start of training camp. We no longer have to worry about all these scrupulous stories rolling around in the atmosphere. We don't have to worry about any hearsay or rumors or manufactured articles like the one on rookie Cowboys running back Jaden Blue. It's finally time to put the pads and the helmet on and get into training camp. And ladies and gentlemen, this is probably going to be one of the most important training camps in team history. And I'm not just saying that in conjecture. I'm serious. If we actually take a look at it, and with the combination of a new regime, new culture, new energy, Jerry Jones's last ride, the circumstances that the entire roster is playing under that I don't think many people have given much thought to as it pertains to the fact that almost 40 players are going to either be unrestricted or restricted free agents for the Dallas Cowboys in the 2026 offseason. That means that this year's training camp is going to be more important than ever because not only are they trying to set a new tone, a new culture, and bring in just a more impactful environment for the purpose of winning, but a lot of guys, and I mean a lot of guys, are competing for jobs. And this training camp period is going to show us a whole lot as Dallas Cowboys fans. Let's get right into this one as training camp is finally underway, ladies and gentlemen. Man, shut your up. Here we have it, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this off rip, man. Shout out to the homie John Machota. Shout out to Nick Harris. Shout out to Joel Hoyt, because all these people, they are going to be people that we use a lot of their training camp footage from to discuss and just to keep up on what's going on out there in Oxnard. But the time is here, ladies and gentlemen, and the first thing I kind of want to get into as it pertains to just the new era of Dallas Cowboys football and why this will be one of the most important training camps in Cowboys history is because of the man of the hour, Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer is here. He's here to make a change, and he said the one thing that he wants to do, if he doesn't do anything else, is he wants to have one of the best cultures in all of team sports. That right there is a very large ask of a first-time head coach, coming into the situation that he came into with the Dallas Cowboys. And quite frankly, everything that we've seen from him and this team and the organization, just the energy surrounding it thus far, gives me confidence that we're going to see something different from the Cowboys this season, just as it pertains to how they operate as a unit. From top to bottom, just how they operate as a unit. And I think that everyone's going to be in lockstep with each other. Now, Brian Schottenheimer, along with that change in culture, he has promised competition. He wants to breed a culture of competition under pressure. He's promised that, hey, I'm going to put the best guys on the field. I want guys out there that love the game, that are ultra competitive, and they're going to give me everything they got on every single down. And I think that this is going to be a real proving point for Brian Schottenheimer and his entire coaching staff is when those pads finally come on and they can really actually practice football, because so far they haven't really been able to practice football. They've been doing a bunch of individual drills and stuff like that, but they haven't been able to actually really practice football. I think that when we see them put them pads on, that's when we're going to see the real Brian Schottenheimer, and that right there is going to be a flashpoint in which direction the Cowboys are going to go in the future. Either Brian Schottenheimer is going to be a man of his word, he's going to be a man of the culture that he's creating, and he's going to have a tangible impact on what's happening on the field. Because I don't want to hear week 3, week 4, oh, we're having bad practices like the guys were saying last season under Mike McCarthy, and like we've heard several times under guys like Mike McCarthy. I don't want to hear none of that, man. Brian Schottenheimer, what are you going to tolerate? What are you going to enforce? What are you going to make this team look like? How is this group going to reflect back upon who you are as a head coach? Those are the questions that are surrounding him, and just how he's going to handle this period, and just what is the level of competition going to look like. He's already endeared himself with his players. I mean, all of these guys love him. You can just listen to Deuce Vaughn here.
Yeah, energy is the perfect word to use. Every single day that you step foot into that building, you know that the energy from himself, the coaching staff, and everybody inside the building is going to be up. And it just makes you want to come in and work hard every single day. one of our mantras and really our biggest mantra is compete every day. And for us, we really do live by that. Whether it's on the football field, in the meeting rooms, whether that be if we're doing types of challenges and stuff to get our competitive juices going. Every single day, you know that it's going to be a great day to come in and you really get to live the professional lifestyle that you want to because of the energy that they bring. They allow you to be yourself. And then whenever you get onto the football field, man, you get to go and fly around and compete with the best of them. And that's all you want as a pro.
And if you take a look at what Sam Williams had to say about him, he said it just shows you he's human. He's one of us. So I think that's the overall prevailing feeling for all the players as it pertains to looking at the head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. But we're about to actually get to nut cutting time and really see what his football brand is going to look like, separate from just being attached to the lore of Marty. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what Brian Schottenheimer's team is really going to look like, because it's real football time, y'all. And the reason that this is all very important is, like I kind of teased at the beginning, if you actually take a look at it, we have a metric ton of players going into free agency. And what better time, what better training camp could you possibly have to really change the culture of this team than to knock out the buddy ball system, than to knock out the playing favorites, to knock out, hey, we're already earmarking this guy as he's going to be on the field, even though we have a guy sitting behind him that's better, but he's going to play because he's making the most money or because he's best friends and he hangs out with the coach after practice. We don't need any more of that, and we're going to see whether or not that stuff is going to be employed here or not. But if you take a look at it, not only do we have almost 30 unrestricted free agents, and it may be 30. I went kind of cross-eyed trying to count this. I ain't gonna cap. It may be 30. But not only do we have 30 unrestricted free agents, we also have like 9 restricted free agents or like 10 restricted free agents. So almost 40 players off of your 53-man roster. A lot of these guys, I would say about half of these guys right here are probably going to make the 53-man roster. Probably over half of the guys that are listed right here are going to make the 53-man roster. Kenneth Murray, Donovan Wilson, Dante Fowler, Micah, Kyer Elam, Javonte Williams, Israel Mukwamu, George Pickens, Sam Williams, Jack Sanborn, C.J. Goodwin, Miles Sanders, Jalen Tolbert, Will Greer, Robert Rochelle, Sadiq Charles, Hakeem Adeniji, Brock Hoffman, Jake Ferguson, Keemon Hall, Wanye Thomas, all these guys, Damone Clark. A lot of these guys are going to make the 53-man. Hunter Lepke, a lot of these guys are going to make the 53-man, and a lot of these guys don't have a guaranteed job next season. So we're probably going to see some of the most competitive training camp battles that we've seen in a very long time with this Cowboys team, because there's only about a handful of dudes that actually have genuine security with this team right now. Everyone else is on 1 or 2 year deals, which means everyone else is hungry. And that's something that's reflected upon how all these guys are talking right now. I mean, Brian Schottenheimer essentially went out and got a bunch of guys in free agency that have something to prove. And that's honestly a good place to be. If you can't go out and get the most high dollar guy, the most highly touted guys, then go get the guys that have something to prove and got some juice left. And that's what he went and did. Miles Sanders said they said I wasn't worth the money, so I signed with the team they hate the most. I'm in Dallas now, and every snap is personal. And I think that quote could honestly be blanketed across the entire team, because everybody seems to be talking like that. George Pickens, when he came over from the Steelers, he said something very reminiscent of this quote. Hell, our other running back, the rookie, Jaden Blue, he said they're going to feel me real soon. Production quiets all the noise. And this was in response to just the noise, the fake articles, and like I said, unscrupulous articles rolling around about our players. This is disconcerting, that type of stuff, and just the overall fact that, man, everybody in the NFL that counted the Cowboys out. They've been ranked to go 8-9. They've been ranked to miss the playoffs. Dak Prescott is ranked lower than Sam Darnold. I can't believe that. I don't care if it was a top 100 based off of last season in the vacuum. Hell no. I can't believe that anybody will put Sam Darnold above a Dak Prescott on any kind of list. But just in general, this team has players that are full of the desire to go further and to do more. And I want to see if any of that stuff is going to translate. I'm going to tell y'all right now, though, y'all, all this energy and excitement and stuff is all fine and dandy. But I'm going to tell you one thing. If we get into training camp and we can already see this is not translating, bro, I'm never believing in the hype of another hype East Coast ever again, bro. I am never going to sit here and allow myself to get swept up in the momentum of a head coach and the energy that he's bringing to the building until we actually see them on the field, bro, because we need this stuff to translate, and that's just what it is, right? Jimmy Johnson even gave his thoughts on this season for the Cowboys and this period for the Cowboys, and he said the most important thing for the Cowboys, the biggest thing for any team, but most importantly for the Cowboys due to how top-heavy they are, which I do believe they're top-heavy, but I do think that they satiated some of the concerns as far as the lack of depth on their roster in this offseason. So Jimmy may be a little bit off base here, but he said they're top-heavy salary cap-wise, and so their 53-man roster might not be as quite talented at the bottom as some of these other teams. That part, I honestly disagree. I really feel like, at minimum, the bottom of our roster now is a baseline average for NFL teams, right? But he also said that they're going to have to stay healthy, not only for the fact of, hey, that's true for any team, but how difficult their schedule gets toward the end of the season. Health is what's going to play the biggest role in how successful the Cowboys are this season. I firmly believe that. If the Cowboys are healthy for the large part and they don't lose any key pieces, I think they have a successful season. I think Brian Schottenheimer looks like a savior, and I think we go into next season with even more excitement than we did this season. If guys get hurt, then I think that we're looking at another season where we're going to see a ton of turnover. We're going to see a bunch of new guys coming in, and we're probably going to see a little bit of change of direction depending on which guys get hurt. I'm just being completely honest here. But Jimmy Johnson is pretty high on Brian Schottenheimer, and even he is getting swept up in that energy that he's bringing to the team. So everyone is believing in the man. Everyone is believing in the message. Everyone is believing in the impact that he has had thus far. Like I said, this is going to be one of the most important training camp periods ever, mainly because of the fact that, hey, man, Jerry Jones, he how old now? Let's Google it. Let's see how old he is. How old is Jerry Jones? That man is 82 years old. He don't wake up with eye boogers. He wake up with mothballs forming between his eyes, bruh. This man old as hell. Brian Schottenheimer just signed a 4-year contract. Let's be honest, bro. This is the last quote-unquote era of Dallas Cowboys football Jerry old ass is going to oversee. So this is, in a sense, the last ride for someone like a Jerry Jones too. So that's why this is honestly them putting all their marbles into one offseason. Not just Jerry. Everyone is essentially scheduled out on a 4 or 5 year period. So how this training camp goes, the tone he sets, this is essentially going to define what the Cowboys are for the remainder of this era and how we go into the next era of Cowboys football, because that's going to be an era of uncertainty. We don't know what the team is going to look like. We don't know who's going to be the signal caller. We don't know any of that stuff. We don't know who's going to be the quarterback. None of that, right? So the next era of Cowboys football is shrouded in uncertainty, but this one is shrouded in excitement. And I want to see if Brian Schottenheimer can continue that momentum, and if this training camp period is really going to reflect what he's shown us thus far. And I think it will. And I hope that this ends up being one of those training camps that we look back at and be like, hey, this was a true turning point for the franchise, because we've seen this guy do things differently than we've seen in the past. We saw a whole different type of intensity out of this period, right? But either way, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think this training camp period represents for the Cowboys? Do you feel like this is going to be one of those times that defines the next part of the Cowboys generation? Or do you think I'm just capping right now and just trying to make some content? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll see y'all next one. How about them Cows?
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.